I was very much interested in trying to understand how organizations that are aiming at pursuing a social mission while relying on commercial or entrepreneurial approaches to do so, were able to keep their eyes on the goals that they were pursuing without being distracted by other things. When you have hybrid organizations that combine these multiple logics, you also have these organizations that then, embrace multiple and potentially conflicting goals. People view these organizations as a very promising way to organize because somehow they enable to bring the best of two worlds. So bringing the best of the public and the private sector in public-private partnerships. They are also facing very difficult challenges. So they experience potentially intense conflicts. They find it very difficult to be sustainable. How can these organizations make sure that they keep their eyes on the two goals without neglecting one or the other? 80% of their revenues come from sales. 20% of their revenues come from subsidies and grants. And what this means is that if these organizations want to survive, they need to be very serious about being full-fledged commercial organizations. Yet, they do that with a clear goal, ultimate goal, which is the reintegration on the job market of these long-term unemployed. 3 of these organizations experienced this intense governance crisis. 2 of them didn't. And so then we moved on to try to compare what was happening in this organization that were not happening in these ones that may explain their ability to avoid this crisis. And what we found is that these 2 organizations were actually combining 2 interesting governance arrangements. They had a very stable allocation of decision rights. In addition to this stable allocation of decision rights, what seemed to be needed to be able to avoid this conflict is this notion of integration mechanisms. Really, initiatives taken by, in the cases that we have, either the chair or the executive director of the organization, to somehow bring together the people from the different coalitions on the board together, to allow them to understand each other and find a way somehow to reconcile their diverging views and work together to collaborate. Enable them not only to ensure that the allocation of share was stable, but that also the 2 coalitions on the board were understanding each other enough so that in situations where decisions need to be made, they're able to find agreements.